I don't get why people always are talking about, like, having sex for money. Like, I don't get that. Why would someone do that? There's so many other options out there. You know, you could easily, be a waitress and make a good, decent amount of money. And you get to keep your clothing on, and you don't have to go away with strange people who can kill you. You could do a lot of things to get money. You could, like I said, you could work in an area, like, for example, there are people who are cocktail waitresses. They make lots of money too. I've heard some make $1,000 a day. Well, why can't you do something like that? You don't have sex with anyone. They don't take you away somewhere. They don't do shit to you like that. There's so many other options out there. Even before the internet. And now that we have the internet, we have plenty of other options, There's plenty of people who do all sorts of things on the internet that is along those lines. But it's so much safer because you're not going to be taken away with someone because you're not actually having sex with anyone. You're not actually meeting anyone. That's what I don't get about these type of people. It's like, if sex work is your thing, can't you do it in a safe way where no one can just kidnap you and kill you? Can't you do something along those lines? Why do you have to do something that's going to most likely end in your demise, or you physically hurt, or you hurting animals and children because you are a heartless bum who wants to just make money? I mean, there's so many better ways to make money than to be doing this. I just never understood it with prostitutes. I always tried to ask questions too. I always ask. And let's just be real and honest. It's not all people making like lots of money with sugarbaby, which is the most disgusting part of it, like having sex with children and animals. But many prostitutes don't make that much money, being completely honest. The average prostitute makes $200 to $300 per hour, right? So if she works maybe 6 hours, 8 hours out of a day, she's made $1,800 in a day, And it's just to me, I'm like, that's a higher end prostitute at that. But even if she got all those people to have sex with her, it always seems like you see how much danger you encountered when you could have made $1,000 a day off of, just passing drinks out to someone. Or you could have made more than that by, like I said, a dancer or something like that. Or you could have made more money, online. There's so many different things you could have done, but instead you chose to, try to have sex for with several different men, in a night, and it's like you're having sex with these men, and they're honestly really dangerous. They could end up killing you for the same amount of money. You know what I mean? You're doing it for the same amount of money as someone else who is not taking off their clothing, who is not having sex with a man. You know what I mean? They're just doing their job, or, maybe they are taking their clothing off, but they're still not having sex and being alone with the man in a situation that isn't controlled. To me, I just never understood a prostitute. And I understand that a lot of them are addicted to drugs, and that's why they do it. But even if you're addicted to drugs, can't you go about doing things where you don't end up killed, because don't you want to get high another day? So, I mean, like, if you want to get high another day, wouldn't you try to do your best to create a safe environment for you to make money instead of, going away with strange people and having sex with strange people who could literally just snuff your life out? To me, I just think, like, you shouldn't be trying to depend on this many people to not stuff your life out, basically, because you're a prostitute. Because a lot of people do focus on prostitutes. People will try to find prostitutes to, commit their psychopathic desires and interests and things of that nature. And they, experiment with killing prostitutes before they kill other people, usually. Because most of the time, legally, no one's even really caring about prostitutes getting murdered and getting killed. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a good start for these type of people. Why would you want to be the start of some serial killer's rampage? When you could have kept, your sex work to a different industry that actually still got you money. And honestly, the way I see it, it's like, it's for less money too. I mean, not less money, for less work too. And less money too. So what I mean, like, it's a lot more work with prostitution, because you're doing a whole sex thing. You're having sex with this person. That is work. Sex is work. It is. And especially if you're having sex for an hour. That definitely is work. And, I mean, you're having sex, and you're having sex with multiple people. When you could be just, doing something that's less work, One, like I said, with cocktail waitresses, which, I mean, that's not even sex work, really. But, I mean, it's a way to make a lot of money. I've heard many people make $1,000 a day. I had a job, actually, as a cocktail waitress myself. And, you can make like $1,000 a day, just easily, But, I mean, then there's other things you could do, like, for example, like I said, like, even, like, strippers, for example, they work, but at least they're still not having sex, so there's less work in that. Then there's people online who really, literally aren't really doing much work at all, that are sex workers and things of that nature. And so, to me, it's just like, many of them make way, way, way more than like a couple thousand a day. They do. They just make a lot more than a couple thousand a day. Many of them make like, say, maybe like, 2,000 or so a day, From what I've heard, I remember I had a roommate that was a stripper in the past. So, I mean, like, there's plenty of people, that, and she specifically, I think she said she made, like, about 2,000 to 3,000 a day off of, like, different stuff she did online and stuff. So, to me, it's just like, I don't understand why people don't just do that type of work. Personally, for me, like, I've never really gotten into any of that type of work. People know about the phone stuff. That, for me, is, I forget, well, I mean, like, I would say that is less work, obviously, because I'm not even, like, showing myself or anything, So, I mean, like, even in my case, I've seen many prostitutes who say, like, they make a certain amount. I don't understand why they do all that, when, like I said, you could just be sitting at home making money and you don't have to worry about anyone coming to kill you, you don't have to worry about, being alone with someone. You don't have to worry about the precautions of having sex with someone who you don't really know that well. You don't have to worry about any of that, So I never really understand, like, why people who are sex workers or prostitutes, sugar babies, or escorts. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me at all. And it's just, to me, like, I think it's a lazy way and a not really thinking way to make money. Because if I was going to make money like that, I would just basically try to think of the most lucrative way to make money without putting that much work out. You know what I mean? So I would try to put like I remember there was this one girl, she was my roommate, and I think she had some stuff to do with like camming and stuff. I would do that before I did prostitution because it makes more money. It's not any sex involved. I'm not putting myself in danger. It's not illegal. I can't go to prison for it. You know what I mean? All these factors in it. I would see like the dark end of like sugar dating, prostitution, escorts. You see someone always ends up in jail. Someone always, ends up dead. You have to worry about all the diseases you get. I mean, there's so many different things that could happen to you that are so negative. Well, if you're just on a video and you are doing whatever on that video, you can't get any diseases through a camera. You just can't. You can't get any situation where people are... You can't get a situation where you are ending up where someone is going to kidnap you or kill you because you had a meetup or session with them and they just decided to, end your life or so forth. You're not putting much trust in people you don't know who are obviously of low character because they are participating in prostitution. I mean, to me, I just don't get why anyone would put themselves through prostitution. I don't. I mean, like if I was doing it in person and I was a sex worker, I would do something like stripping or a cocktail waitress or a topless waitress or something like that along the legal parameters. So one, there is legal recourse. Two, there is, you can't call the police. Three, there's an establishment that is protecting you, while you are getting paid, because a lot of you guys get pimps who just take your money. It's just stupid. But, to me, I just don't understand these people. Like, you have to be on drugs to prostitute yourself out, in my opinion. Because who is really going to put themselves through all of that, and then you put yourself through all that work, and you still just made pretty much the same amount as any old stripper or any old cam girl made. To me, it just doesn't make any sense. From my perspective, though, I've never stripped, I've never done any of that stuff. I do the phone stuff, and I don't mind doing the phone stuff. Personally, I don't have an issue with that. I'm like, I don't know, it works out pretty good, and I don't show my face or anything, and, I make a good living off of that. Honestly, I could just do that and not really do much else. But honestly, my thing is, I just always have to work third shift. That's the only bummer about phone stuff. Being a phone girl, I guess you could say. Because what we do, basically, is, we accept calls, but then when we accept calls, what happens is, guys like to call at night because, that's when I guess they're horny or whatever. So it works out where, you just really accept calls at night, and then if you do, it's just like, I don't know. For me, it's a good amount of income, it's like, 6 figures, so it's good in that regard, but I don't know, I just kind of feel like people who are prostitutes, I mean, even if you were making $2,000 a day, every day, would it be really worth it when you could literally be doing this type of work and getting the same amount of pay as a cam girl or a stripper, and you get less danger involved? Yes, there is always risk to every job, but like people say with prostitutes, many of the time, it comes with physical harm, Being a cam girl definitely doesn't come with any physical harm because, no one's there to beat you up. And if you're a stripper, most likely you're not getting beat up either. There are situations where people will say some really messed up stuff to strippers and even cam girls. But the thing is, with cam girls, they can actually choose who they want in their space and who they don't. So they choose what they want. Strippers really don't. So, however that works out for them. But, even at that situation, that's just a matter of someone saying something to you. They're not actually hurting you physically. You know what I mean? Like, they don't pose a life-threatening, they're not a life-threatening threat, basically. They're not threatening your life, basically. Like, in the case of a prostitute, they're basically holding your life in their hands, and you're just basically putting random men at the helm, basically, in control of your life, of whether you live or die, basically, for a little money. And that's how you know it's got to only be people on drugs that would do such a thing, because you want money so bad that you don't even care if you live or die. Implies, that's a drug addict kind of behavior and attitude to look at life. And, a lot of people who, would be more apt to be a stripper or a cam girl, at least they're thinking about the next day to some extent. That's just how I see that. So, I really don't understand prostitutes, but if anyone could explain, please do. Like and subscribe, comment down below. STDs and a chance for you to be hurt tremendously in the future because you rashly thought it was a good idea to sell your body for money. And in the process, it could easily end your life. To me, that's just not my interest. And that's why, like, the sugarbaby lifestyle and stuff, to me, is just like, I could do so much less and basically live a good lifestyle that I don't understand why I would be doing any of that. And I'm very sure I would not be doing the whole prostitution thing because there's so many other options out there. Like I said, there's cocktail waitressing, which is like you get about $1,000, a day with that type of work. And you're not having sex with anybody. People don't even see those people as sex workers at that, You just wear a nice little tight outfit and you get paid. As you give, out, drinks and so forth. I used to actually have a job like that, and it was fun, actually, honestly. Keeps you busy, you're always moving, things of that nature, but, I don't understand, put out less, get more. That's the name of the game. That's what everybody does, but it seems like the prostitution, you guys just think, I need money, and you act very rash at that. So, to me, it's just like, I don't really get why you act so rash like this. Like, there's better options out there, and, like, if you're comfortable being nude around many strange men and having sex with strange men, you should be pretty much comfortable being online, being nude, or in your personal home. I mean, like, it's your personal home and just people happen to see you online, or as a stripper for that matter, or not doing any of that stuff and being a cocktail waitress. Those are the type of things I would do. Even I could imagine doing things like being a topless waitress or things of that nature, But I cannot understand prostitution for it to be an incentive for somebody who isn't on drugs. You'd have to be paying them lots of money. More money than a camp girl gets. Because a camp girl puts out less but gets more than a prostitute. So why would anyone prostitute? Why would anyone escort? Why would anyone sugar babe? When you could easily get that money being a camp girl. I don't get it, To me, it's just odd. I mean, especially the amount of work that needs to be put in for escorts, prostitutes, and sugar babies. You have to put in way more work, more time having sex and so forth. Many cam girls don't work very often. They just put in a little work, they get a lot of money, they stop. And they say it's less time consuming for them because they don't put in that much work. They put in a regular day's work of camming, they would make so much more than you. That's why I'm saying that it makes no sense to me. Why any prostitutes? It would make more sense. I understand, okay, if you did prostitute, wouldn't you just prostitute maybe for a day or two? And then you would try to be a cam girl so you would get, the equipment you need to become a cam girl. If it really was like that. But I don't understand who does prostitution long term. It makes no sense to me. Or you would do stripping. Like I said, you could be a stripper. You could be, a cocktail waitress. You could do all sorts of different things, but you choose to be a prostitute. To me, it's just like, it's the job of the crackhead. Because who else in their right mind is going to be a prostitute when you could end up dead? So that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, comment down below, and have a great day. Bye.